Welcome back to the Light Up Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Peters, and today's episode is a really powerful one because I'm sitting down with a couple who truly embodies what it means to turn their pain into purpose. Anthony and TereZa Lolli are the founders of Biohack Yourself Media and Lolli Brands Entertainment, where they're creating some of the most impactful content in the health and wellness space right now. But what makes this conversation so special is not just what they've built, it's who they had to become to build it. Anthony went from struggling with his health at over 300 pounds to completely transforming his life and documenting that journey for the entire world to see. And TereZa turned her own personal challenges, especially after becoming a mother, to help women heal, optimize their health, and then step into their power. So together, they're building a movement around biohacking, longevity, and taking ownership of your life. In today's conversation, we're going to go deep into their journey, their mindset, their faith, and then also the tools that anyone could use to start transforming their health. If you are on your own healing journey or you're ready to take your life to the next level, this episode is for you. Welcome to the show. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy and excited to have you.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for coming all the way from Boca here. So I want to start at the beginning. I want to know, before the transformation, before the success, take me back to what rock bottom looked like for each of you.
Well, I think from my perspective, there was a lot of personal and professional success, but rock bottom in my health. So I had a health foreclosure where right at the point of my peak success, I had sold my company after hundreds of people tattooed the logo on their bodies, and we were really growing exponentially. Met a wonderful woman. We got married. We have beautiful children. I found myself to be 315 pounds. So that was really my collapse, I would say, that kind of sparked really just the trajectory of where we're at today.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know you turned your pain into purpose. So when you were at rock bottom with your health, what were some of the mindset shifts that you had to make? What was going through your mind? If I don't change, then I don't know what's going to happen.
I think it was my wife really just wanting me to lose weight and get in shape for the purpose of living long for our children. So it was bigger than me. It was even bigger than us. It was really us wanting to be in better health, to give a better quality of life for our children and our parents, really, because you don't realize how much of a burden you can be on your parents if they're still alive, if you're really not in good health, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what really made me think about how selfish it was to really not be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I think when you have a really deep why, it really propels you into making the sacrifices and the changes that are going to help make your life better. But what about you, TereZa?
So again, health rock bottom for me was when my son was getting misdiagnosed 7 times. You just can't help but feel like, have I failed my child? That was my rock bottom, where I just put down my mission. I will heal my son. I will find a way. And I would even do affirmations, like written affirmations, at the deepest, darkest nights of sadness. And those helped me. But ultimately, the functional medicine world, the biohacking world, the alternative world really helped find the solutions. And my son is now thriving. So that's how Biohack Yourself was born, because biohack yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
We understood from both of our journeys and our children's journeys that you need to take charge and you need to biohack yourself, because nobody's coming to do that for you. So questioning, looking deeper, finding answers, you'll just never know what you're going to come across.
You're right. I've been biohacking for a long time now. I mean, my mom has MS. She's been through cancer. I have alcohol, drugs in my family. So I had to really take it upon myself to heal, especially from the trauma. But I'm curious to know, what were some of the signs that your son was experiencing, and what were some of those things that you did to help him?
So the signs were not sleeping. That was it, really. Not sleeping properly. He was always up. Every 40 minutes he would be up. It'd be a challenge to put him back to sleep. And he was 5 months old, 6 months old, nearing a year old. And our first child, Love, she was already sleeping through the night by the time she was 6 months old. So that was definitely a warning sign for me. So I started looking. We discovered he had silent acid reflux, something you can't really see, but that was happening internally. So yeah, then when we dug in, he was being misdiagnosed with autism, misdiagnosed with restless leg syndrome, and a slew of other conditions, and they were happily prescribing medication, but it was just mold infection. Yeah, he was impacted by mold that was in our HVAC system. It wasn't even visible or bathroom mold or anything from like leaking or imperfection of the house. It was just in the HVAC system. So he wasn't able to detox out of that. And we worked with many practitioners. Some of them actually are starring in Biohack Yourself documentaries. Some of them ended up starring in Shield documentaries. And we would often go up to them and be like, look, you're in our documentary right now. And we were listening to your books and we were reading, listening to your podcast to help our own child, and now you're here to give your message to the world through our platform.
It's so interesting. There's a tale of two mothers, right? One is my wife when our son was sick, and you start noticing the rashes, the non-sleeping. I have friends and colleagues and business associates that had children right around the same time. Their children were experiencing those things. But my wife didn't take one answer. She kept looking for solutions. And I remember that we got rid of all the plastic and all the Tupperware in the house, right? That was the work of Dr. Steve Gundry. Fast forward, 5 years later, he's in our Biohack Yourself documentary, right? Dr. Tom O'Brien.
My first guru.
Another guru.
Lakiani.
He's, I'm listening to him at 4 a.m. while I'm half asleep because she's listening to him in the kitchen. Or Vishen Lakiani from Mind Valley, who's now a good friend. He's in the Biohack Yourself documentary. And his work,
Or John Asseroff from The Secret, who's also in Biohack Yourself. We're very good friends. Or Lisa Nichols, never, your health is your wealth is her motto. And, just listening to these people and really understanding we got to take it upon ourselves and educate ourselves, which is how we've given birth to Biohack Yourself magazine. This is an ongoing magazine with some of the top scientists contributing their work, people like Dr. William Lee, John Asseroff.
Their aim is on the cover of our first inaugural magazine. He was not only in the documentary, we did a whole brain protocol with him. Has really enhanced and improved our life, but then he's the cover star of our first magazine, which was incredible because it was such an honor. It's like in all the major book retailers and everywhere, and just people are like, they're going analog. They want to disconnect. They want to avoid the blue light. They want to avoid the electronics and the speed scrolling, and it's time to slow down. And so we took an approach of an expert.
And through our journey, we also understood you could study and you could go down the wrong rabbit holes and you could study from the wrong experts, and then your outcome could be completely different. And then you can study from the right people. And it was funny because when I came across Tom O'Brien, let's say Dr. Tom O'Brien's book, I actually Googled him and was wanting to see if he has a practice. Can I be seen by him? Like, who is this guy? Like, he's so smart. And I love his book. And I came across his functional medicine practice franchise. There were actually doctors that are practicing under his protocols. So I went to the first one in Jersey, and that was the beginning of my journey of understanding about the whole alternative side of things. That's why we take it upon ourselves to gatekeep everything that we're bringing to the public through our magazines, through our documentaries. We have casting directors, we have peer review faculty board members. We vet every advertiser, every contributor, because we want our audience to learn from the best of the best. Because it's information all over the place. ChatGPT is now our functional medicine doctor if you let it, you know, but it can give you wrong advice. So you got to learn from the real OGs. The
children are the sails to a pathway of education of all different kinds. Our children were the pathway and the sails to our health education.
Yes.
For example, fast forward 8 years later, we start seeing Dr. Scott Siegel again. He was the person that did the lip tie, tongue tie procedure on our son Legend. So again, a tale of two different mothers, right? TereZa was struggling with Legend breastfeeding. Now, you know, someone could say, all right, chalk it up. It's just not, the kid doesn't want to breastfeed. She didn't want to give up. You know, research after research. Turns out he had a lip tie, tongue tie, which, you know, causes issues with latching and all this kind of stuff. She goes and see a lactation
swallowing air,
consultant.
causing the acid reflux.
So had she not gone the extra mile, then who knows? You know, one thing triggers another, triggers another, triggers another. So it's really just
And it's funny because now that we're filming the biological dental documentary, whole different rabbit hole, we've got the top biological
But do you know what
dentists.
biological dentistry is?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that a little
Yeah,
later
we're gonna-
in,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
segment.
But I wanted to tell
Mhm.
something from what he was saying, right? Even with all the digging, even with all the just like high integrity level of not letting anything slide, I'm now discovering my 10-year-old daughter has twisted airways, which is what was causing her the lymphatic stagnation. Because our daughter had a situation where she had a lymph node that popped up on her neck. Of course, we were able to remedy that after Biohack Yourself documentary and learning everything about hydrogen baths, oxygen baths, red light therapy. We did all these stacks and it was able to drain her lymphatic system. But recently it actually came back again. And I was like, what is wrong? There's structurally something wrong.
Mhm.
And through filming the biodentistry documentary, which we'll go into it in a little bit, we discovered airways, the bone of the head, which is the cranium. Everything is so connected. And I'm like, nobody has a shot. Like if I missed this, right?
Mhm.
Being so diligent, seeing 20 functional medicine practitioners, lip tie, tongue tie. I mean, I've seen everybody. And we missed the airways. This is why we do what we do. We continue to dig, find the best of the best, the hidden gems, and we bring them to fruition.
I love that. And I think it's really interesting. You can connect the dots looking back, but moving forward, your kids had to go through these experiences and you had to do your research and connect with all these people to actually build the empire that you have today and what you're focused on. I think that's so beautiful. And I know a lot of times it's about your identity, right? Stepping into who you have to become to serve the masses, to make a really big impact, to live in your purpose, and to leave a legacy behind. So, what were some of the mindset shifts and things you had to do to up-level your identity to do the work you're doing today?
Many things. Number one of the tricks up TereZa's sleeve was to do like a dream board. So when I was 315 pounds, she put my face on a person of my choosing six-pack body and put it all over the house to kind of create that manifestation. And all of a sudden, all the stars were aligning. You know, I bumped into somebody who was a personal trainer, and then my algorithm started changing, and then I found someone that was a nutrition coach and flew him down to live with us. And then because we're in media and entertainment, we turned it into a hit documentary that we released during the pandemic. So all of those changes. And then, of course, she got bit by the bodybuilding bug and started competing herself because now the roles were reversed. Now she had the two babies and had the mom bod, and I'm the one with the six-pack, and I had the tummy tuck surgery after loose skin surgery. And, you know, most people don't realize how depleted your body gets from having children and sleepless nights. And then, wouldn't you know it, she's telling me to eat all these vegetables that I didn't want to eat when I was fat. She was eating the vegetables and all the fish, and she's the one getting glyphosate and mercury poisoning. So it's kind of weird, right? Here I am out of shape, this, that, and, you know, knocking on death's door. And she is silently knocking on death's door with all the poison.
Diet.
Right. So you just never know when it's going to hit you. Right. So she had to become someone else as well with all of the.
Yeah, like talking about mindset shift, I think it's really humbling yourself for a minute and really saying there is a chance that I don't know anything and that everything I know is incorrect. So let's settle with that for a minute. Let's sit with that and let's really look at the world as a big, open, exciting place rather than feeling overwhelmed. I've gone through my overwhelmed sessions and phases, which was not fun. Then you have to bring yourself back and say, you know what? Let me just write down. What can I change right now? Let's take top 10. Let's focus on really obsessing over fixing these top 10 things. So that's another mindset shift. You got to just make it easier. Just focus on the little things that you can do to change, because it could be overwhelming when you look at biohacking. In fact, when you watch Biohack Yourself documentary, it's 5 episodes. You just got to take a notepad and really just take down the notes of the companies that are there, the red light, the hyperbaric chamber, the glutathione. Like, we literally introduce all these different concepts because our goal has always been to create tools and solutions for people. Practical, fast, easy access to things that cost us so much time and millions of dollars.
So I think,
to learn.
you know, in order to light up your life, like the podcast, right? Think about what that is. Lighting up is really just getting rid of the darkness, right? So sometimes you don't know what's dark in your life. And it could be people you associate with that are dark that you need to light up your life and get rid of them. It could be certain foods or certain daily habits that you need to change. So when you ask the question, who do you need to be? You really need to shine a light and really understand. What we did was kind of get that kind of infrared light where we now understand the do's and don'ts. And when you know better, you can do better. So we continue to educate ourselves in this entire world because technology increases. There's so much more happening out there. We're in a fortunate position as editors in chief where we're on the front line. So we get to meet all these incredible people. We're at the expos, the conferences. We have journalists like our mutual friend Janelle, and they're like an extension of us, right? So there's people that are out there, like even right now. Yesterday there was a conference, and our team is with Damon John, who's now getting into the industry himself. He just did a biological dental surgery with our biological dentist, who happens to be Gary Brecka's biological
Dr.
dentist.
Gandhi, who's also the co-producer of our biodentistry documentary. It's like all of this is connecting
So
a lot of people.
we believe that success leaves clues, and there's plenty of successful people that have left success clues. We want to leave health success clues. So we want to represent people that, you mentioned empire, we just trademarked the word fampire, because we want to create a family empire together with our entire family. And we believe in generational wealth, but generational health. Most people, like, whenever they make it in business or in life, they'll buy their mom a house or their dad a car or their children, but they don't pass up health. And so what we've done is really pass on health to our parents, to our loved ones, to our friends, and now to the world.
Wow, that's such a beautiful response. And there's so many things I can say, but I really want to pinpoint on what you both were talking about, how you have to let go of certain things in your life, the information. I mean, we're so distracted by what's on social media, what the news is telling us. So who do you listen to?
Infobesity.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's been a big thing for me too, letting people go out of my life as I'm shedding and becoming a new version of myself. And it seems
Yes.
like you had to do that as well. I really want to talk about faith and purpose. So, how much has faith played a role in your darkest times to like the success that you have today?
There's a famous Bible verse. It's called faith without works is dead, right? And what that means is you could have all the faith in the world, but if you don't apply and put the work behind it, it means nothing. So I believe what we've done and what TereZa did was she had a lot of faith, right? A lot of prayer, but then put the work behind it, the research. The sleepless nights turned into sleepless nights of education, the readjusting of our lifestyle to go meet these incredible people, and really putting our family in a position to win at our health success. So faith is very important, but you also have to put faith in the work that you're capable of doing. And that's the person you need to become, because a lot of people rely on other people to help them with everything. And again, that's why we titled it Biohack Yourself, because you have to biohack yourself. And TereZa realized that early on in talking to the doctors. Are like, wait a minute, you're not going to tell me to give my kid this medicine or this or that.
When it comes to your kids,
Right.
it's a whole different.
So it's a different game.
I mean, purpose. You asked about purpose and faith. That's everything. That's what drives us, and that's what drives our children. And I believe life is meaningless when you don't have faith and purpose. So, what wakes us up every day, what excites us is faith and purpose. And we found our purpose through our struggles, when it comes to biohacking, when it comes to producing the most beautiful documentaries that actually go on to inspire so many people. For example, SHIELD, our female health documentary, it's coming out and it's premiering during the Cannes Film Festival. So we're titled.
We'd love for you to come, by the way.
Yes, I know it's in France.
Yes, it's in France.
So
it's
exciting.
Cannes Film Festival is one of the staples of Hollywood. So that's as mainstream as it gets, right? So we titled the event Health in Hollywood because we believe that these experts need to be celebrated on the carpets. They need to be followed and they need to be cherished, and people need to know them, because whoever is starring in SHIELD is one of a kind. JJ Virgin, who co-produced this with us, she hand-selected everyone that she knew for years who has done the right thing and had grown their business and their knowledge base. So we're just so proud of all the beautiful content that we're
The
creating.
curation,
Yeah.
the events that we put together, when we first launched the Biohack Yourself documentary, we had a big gala. We called it the Oscars of Longevity. We
Yes.
invited it was like almost 800 people. The room was packed of all of the experts. Tom O'Brien was there, Dr. Mark Gordon, Dave Asprey, Steve Gundry, Gary
Greenfield, Del
Berka,
Bigtree,
Del Bigtree,
JJ
countless others,
Virgin.
JJ Virgin. So we celebrated the release of Biohack Yourself, and TereZa and I and our children stood on stage and we said, the world doesn't need another pill, potion, and lotion. You guys are good at that. What we're going to do is we're going to be the news and we're going to amplify your voices. We're going to be the neutral party to be able to share the shine and really scream from the rooftops of how great you guys are. We want to celebrate what we've experienced, which was a true healing journey. And at that event, we had the cast of S.H.I.E.L.D. while we were still filming it, okay? And we had the cast of Biodentistry when we haven't even started filming it yet.
Yeah.
So fast forward a few weeks later from that, the Maha Camp asked us to produce the Maha Ball. So
Wow.
we then invited the same group of people in Washington on Inauguration Day, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., we were on the red carpet. We were there at the front door greeting everybody coming into the ballroom. It was really an amazing event because all the practitioners, we knighted them as journalists. So we had journalists like Dr. Vonda Wright was on the red carpet interviewing people, and Dr. Anna Maria Temple, Jordan Peterson was there. And we were able to really turn into a professional news organization outside of just print. Now we're actual media, journalism, and things like that. And so now the Cannes Film Festival is going to be what we did at the Oscars 2.0.
2.0.
That's
Health in
exciting.
health.
Health and
And
health.
we've become so close with all the cast members and we talk to them regularly, right? We've become friends and we understand the struggle that the masses have, which is what information do I follow? Who do I listen to? But then we started understanding the issues and the problems that the doctors have and the founders have. How do we get the word across? How do we promote to the right people? And so we now, as a media company, we actually cover all kinds of events. Like we'll go to book launches, let's say. Many of the authors are now inviting Biohack Yourself because when we come in with 100 people. 100 of our VIPs show up to the book signings. We got the step and repeat, the whole thing. We bring the glam, the Hollywood. People say the Lollis are like the Hollywood wing of health and wellness. And that's the truth, because when you do that, you bring attention to the author and to the community. So we do a lot of book signings. We do a lot of events like Miami Fashion Week or UFC or Pickleball World Cup, a Student Action Summit. We do Mar-a-Lago events. So when we go around to these different communities and we cover the news based on wellness and longevity, and we interview these guests that are there for, let's say, a political event, and we're just asking them about their morning routine and their health habits. I have to see how they feel so comfortable, almost like undressing themselves and talking about their morning routine. It's a whole different style of interviewing where we're bringing and merging different worlds. And so that's been really eye-opening. We get close to 10 million monthly views on our social, mainly because we're merging all these different worlds to biohacking. So instead of just staying niche, we have now expanded outside. And even with our cover stars, right, we select some polarizing figures. Like we have Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, for example, right?
You know her, Gabrielle?
Don't.
She believes
very
muscle is
respected.
medicine.
Yeah.
She's a legend and an icon, functional medicine expert, works with a lot of high profile people now, but she cut her teeth with the regular people. And there's so many high profile people that are really, really sick. Just because someone is high profile or well to do doesn't mean they shouldn't have access to, you think they have access to the best medical care. They don't. They're actually dying. You're noticing this celebrity has cancer. This one's dying. This billionaire's mother died. So it's not money. It's not even access. They just don't have access to the right people. So she's helping that demographic. And we ended up doing her book launch and her magazine cover signing at Lifetime Fitness in Manhattan.
The location.
It was so crowded. It was during the winter storm. This was just like last month, as a matter of fact.
January, yeah.
And the amount of people that showed up there, the testimonials. Oh, I remember Gabrielle. She helped me. Even some of the dentists, they were like, yeah, she helped me lose weight. She helped me when I was going through my health struggles. I did her teeth. She did my body.
biological dentist
Yeah.
is the second co-producer
Yeah.
of biodentistry. So it's like amazing.
Birds of the same feather fly
Yeah.
together. Like the people that we've met and curated in our community, they all have worked together, cut their teeth together in the beginning of their careers. So it's amazing to watch them know each other. It's really cool, really cool
It
stuff.
really is such a small world. And I want to take a moment just to thank you guys for stepping into what you're doing today because
Thank
you're
you.
really helping millions of people. So this is actually one of the questions from my grandfather because he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He went through 45 rounds of radiation and that's finished. His blood work was really good. And his oncologist basically said, you need to take this pill for the next 3 years and it's $17,000 a month. And my grandfather was like, well, what if I don't take this? And he's like, well, if the cancer comes back, you're going to be a dead man. Absolutely not. I mean, there's so many holistic things that you can do. I mean,
Sure.
I've given him a parasite cleanse. B12, I know apricot seeds really help to target cancer, fasting. So I wanted to ask from both of you, from obviously being in this space, what would your recommendation be?
I have different approaches. She has her own approach. My approach is you need a quarterback. You need a functional medicine practitioner that's going to really connect you to your team. You need your own medical and health board. And so first you need all of your blood markers. There has to be a root cause approach. So this is like solving a murder, right? You want to figure out, what's going on. So there's a murder mystery. And so we got to really, what he's doing right now, or what they want to do is just nuke the problem that'll come back eventually, right? And so there's this joke, right? The doctor gave a guy 6 months to live. He couldn't pay the bill, so he gave him another 6 months. So the point is that they're just in the business of, we know now, a lot of them have been outed in just really selling medicine and whatever. Not all, but, generally speaking, that's just the approach. And so you really need someone that's going to have a quarterback this thing that you can consult with, because obviously you've been taking agency, and then really making sure that the team and the board that this quarterback selects is in alignment with your goals and your outcomes and also your budget. That's my fasting might be one, but it's really like what TereZa has done anytime I've gone through, or someone. I mean, we're very lucky. We have 350 experts on our health board. Like right now, if you lost an arm, we could grow it back. Like that's how much we have, like a really amazing team of experts that we've curated that we're now sharing with the public. But you have a different approach.
Yeah. I mean, you said it, the root cause. First, he needs to really believe that he can beat cancer.
Yes.
And he can
His
live.
mindset is so positive.
Mindset is positive. Great. That he can live as long as he wants and only leave this earth due to old age. Like he needs to believe in that. We've met so many incredible people who beat cancer and they lived, well after that. But second, I would recommend a biological dentist. I think that's really root cause. We are seeing so many health ailments come from not such great dentistry. For example, if he has any metal implants or if he had any extractions, as innocent as extractions, right? Previous extractions could cause such a thing called cavitation. Do you know what that is?
Can you explain it?
So if you extract a tooth and you just put a gauze and you say, you're done, the bone and the gum are going to heal, but the hole in there is not going to heal. The hole is going to stay, and you're probably leaving some dead roots and infections there, which then turn into cavitation, which is basically a swamp of bacteria and parasites. And I mean, we've seen Dr. Jigar Gandhi pull out a parasite from somebody's cavitation.
We've seen TereZa's mother, my mother-in-law. She had 23 different complications. Mold was coming out of her teeth. Mold.
Like we're looking at it. It's black mold, metal. I mean, my father was set to get a heart surgery until he got his biological dental makeover done. And now he no longer needs a heart surgery because it was all just rooted in the infections in the teeth. So I say one thing he needs to do is go get a CBCT scan. It's a cone beam scan that shows 3D internally, everything through the gums, through the bones. So then a biological dentist can read it. You got to also go to the right dentist so that they can read it the correct way. Because reading CBCT is also an art. Once they read and they say, okay, you have this many cavitations, you have root canals. Root canals could totally cause cancer. They could lead to that. Yes.
So I heard the statistic that about 95% of men who had a root canal end up getting prostate cancer.
Yes.
And my grandfather did have a root canal. So
still does?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's still in his mouth. So you have not removed the root.
Yeah, you
It's
haven't.
gonna come back.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So there's a star in our documentary. His name is Dr. Daniel Pompa. He has the Pompa program. Amazing guy. I can't tell you how many testimonials we've seen from people graduating from his program that have had death sentences and completely reversed. He's big on. He's in our biological dentistry program because he won't even see you or help you unless you have a cone beam scan, the one she's talking about.
Heard about that.
Because it makes no sense. You can detox somebody all you want if they have continuous area of infection, which is what the root canal is. Right? Root canal is an infection that stays there. All of the ligaments, all the nerves and lymphatics, they die and they stay. And you think you've fixed the tooth, but you haven't. There's actually a dead tooth that still remains in your body. And your body constantly actually recognizes it as a dead, decomposing organ. He should get checked.
What we like to say as experiential documentarians, we put our body where our mouth is. Like literally, we're doing the surgeries. I almost died in July. I had a sinus infection from a fake biological dentist who claimed to be a biological dentist who put a bad implant in me. He wasn't even licensed to do that kind of work. And it nearly killed me. And I had to go to Costa Rica to go see Dr. Andres Fernandez, who saved my life. Filmed the whole thing on camera, and that's really what turned this into more of an experiential documentary where we have her mother, her father, my mother who's 87. She did an EBU after the whole surgery, and now she's looking younger. Her mother looks younger, better than ever.
My mother, she had to go to Dr. Dogres to do brain rewiring because from all the metal in your mouth, you're going to experience brainwave atrophy. And so we tested her and there was a lot of atrophy, a lot of brainwaves just flat. And that was her memory. That was her basically early onset Alzheimer's is where she was headed. So now we completely reversed that. We took her brain to the gym is what Dr. Dogres, and so they were amazing. So we've made all these connections, right? From the airways to the brain rewiring to even spine surgeon being in our documentary talking about how your spine is totally connected to your mouth and your airways. So how much is connected here? It is the root cause. I would totally recommend to go get the CBCT, send it to me. I'll get it read by one of the best biological dentists. That's
that would be amazing.
Yeah. And then
How old's your grandpa?
He's 87. And he looks like he's in his 60s.
He would enjoy reading an article. I think it's in the Laura Trump edition of the magazine with our friend, the guy who turned 101 years old at Love Interview.
Oh, yeah.
World War II veteran, amazing guy. We always like to do amazing stories of, what do they call them? Centennials?
Centennials, yeah. Just got married again.
Yeah.
At 101?
100. He got married at 100.
His wife
to
is
his
in the
new
90s,
wife, who's 96.
In incredible shape.
And they were married. And then the president of France was there at their wedding. They're just having fun. Kids having fun. It's so fun. But yeah, like in the Biohack Yourself magazine, like Dr. Jerry Curatola, Dr. Judson Wall, one of the best biological dentists, they contribute to our magazine. So there's a ton of articles, ton of information from different worlds, right? We've got biohacking vets also that talk about how you can biohack your pets.
Wow.
There's now red light beds that look like a little cute cage for dogs. There's hyperbaric chambers for pets, and it helps so much. Some of our friends like Miguel and Carlos Bertonati from Medical Health Institute, they put their dogs on testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. And their dogs are so alive. It's insane. Yeah. And they're what, like 16? And they act as if they're 6.
Yeah.
So peptides, they're putting them on peptides and
This is good, by the way. You made this?
Yeah.
What is it now? It's beet?
So no, it's purple cabbage, organic, and then pineapple, and I put a little bit of ginger in it, and it's supposed to be nature's Botox.
I love it.
It has a lot of vitamin A, vitamin C, so it helps build your collagen.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it.
Good. I've heard that obviously your teeth are connected with each part of like your vital organs. I found, and maybe you guys have a different perspective, that's why the Dentistry Institute has wanted to take out everyone's wisdom teeth because it holds special stem cells that can actually help repair your heart. So have you heard of any of that information?
Yeah, there's a lot of causation and correlation to heart attacks and breast cancer, many different things. Through the biodentistry documentary, we're hearing firsthand testimonials of patients that have gone to these practitioners. My wife is a good example. She had a chest pain.
A lot.
My father-in-law is a good example. Same thing. We just wrote an extensive article in this edition where we talk about our entire journey and why we decided to film the biodentistry documentary and some of the ailments that are no longer there as a direct result. The mouth, it's a whole body. It's part of the whole body.
So what happened with the wisdom teeth, from what I collected, right, from my research and from the interviews, is that through evolution and through food becoming softer and us not biting into apples and not really eating hard food, our mouths actually started getting smaller and smaller. And so the wisdom teeth became unnecessary because they were causing crowding. So when you look at dentists, look, every dentist takes an oath and they want to help their patients, right? They're all good people. They all go that route because they love helping people. So the root of it is good intention. I don't know if they started pulling it out because of stem cells and they don't want us to have stem cells. I think they simply started thinking, oh, you know what? We don't necessarily chew with this. Let's just kick them out so we don't have crowding in the front. But that all happens because we're not biting down, we're not taking care of our airways, then we're throwing braces on and then Invisaligns on, which are totally not addressing the issue. Imagine, this is just the tip, right? You have this whole bone, these bone structures, they're all crunched in. That's why your teeth are getting crowded. Now, if you just force them open and you don't work on these bones and you don't work on these bones, how do you expect these to stay open? You're going to continue to go back, which is what happened to me, by the way. I was on third or fourth session of Invisaligns. For like 8 years, I'm on that thing. Yeah. And then I lose the retainers. I have to go through the whole quick fix of the 10 weeks. And then when we got into biological dentistry, they're saying, look, you have to just fix your cranial bone. And that's called craniosacral therapy. If you go to that, you'll actually open it up. And I'm like, but how was that caused? Like, how do you go deep and find the root cause of why is my head so smaller, for example, right? It could just be childhood birth trauma. You know, when you're coming out of the vaginal canal, it could have just been that. And this is the things that, like, these very monumental things are not mandatory at birth. Like, you need to really check for lip tie, tongue tie. You need to check the mom for diastasis recti. You need to check the child for airways and cranial bones and do craniosacral therapy right then and there, because you're so malleable and they can put you in place in alignment where you can have a beautiful life without being jammed in and crooked. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I look at. I'm like, okay, there's so many things that could be mandatory at birth that could help us tremendously throughout our lives, and they're not.
That's fascinating information. I know that you guys are obviously at the forefront of biohacking and wellness. So what are some of the most exciting things and cutting edge things that you're seeing now in the biohacking world? Any technologies?
Well, you know, it's interesting. We had the honor and the privilege of meeting and shooting Brian Johnson for the cover of our next magazine. And he's the guy that owns Don't Die. We were in his house. We met his son, met his incredible team, and he gave us a tour. And we did a nice little segment where he blew a candle that said 150 on it. We were celebrating his 150th birthday, like projecting positively.
When you turn 150.
And he was like, 150, those are rookie numbers. Give me 250.
He was so funny.
Very funny guy, very muscular, definitely looks younger in person, 100%. It's all working. Whatever he's doing, it's working. He gave us a tour of his biohacking room, his private room where he does all the testing and all that. And he's like, interestingly enough, I tried everything. Now I'm deloading on what I know what works, what doesn't work. So his regimen is less than it ever was. And so a lot of this is really testing and then figuring out, well, why am I doing this? Do I really need this? There's a lot of incredible things happening in exosomes, stem cells, peptides. You know, there's so many different ways you can stack things. We just did a incredible photo shoot and cover with Ashton Hall. I don't know if you know the guy who did the Saratoga.
I know Janelle went out there.
Yeah, she was out there. It was incredible. And he's
actually getting into biohacking. He's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Really understanding the competitive advantage of all these modalities and falling in love with biological dentistry. Actually, he's going to go to Dr. Yuri May in Connecticut, where my father went for his transformation. So now, Ashley, in Connecticut.
In Connecticut.
So he's actually going to go there and get his whole makeover done. And he's so excited. He's
Well-
like, oh, I have brain fatigue and I have these things. I had no idea. I have like 4 metal implants.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that is we filmed it in Next Health, which is owned by our dear friend and contributor, Dr. Darshan Shah. He has incredible modalities, like the latest things in peptides and protocols.
I mean, the blood works, like getting close to 300 biomarkers to really understand where you're at, stool test, hair mineral test, understanding your parasite levels, your heavy metal levels, your everything, right? And then they give you a protocol.
Right.
So I think that's like being really, really sophisticated.
We're doing a parasite cleanse ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
We're working with Dr. Yu, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
We spent a week at his facilities, all of us.
Discovers where your parasites are hiding.
Really?
He goes so deep. He's
What
like,
technology is that?
he's using actually almost like an ancient Asian methods. Like more like Japanese, more like Ayurvedic, and very energy based, frequency based. I've never seen his whole
Meridian chart.
meridian chart. He was really just testing you out from here. And he did one test, for example, my parasites didn't show up. Then he did it again with the acupuncture, and they showed up that they were hiding in my gallbladder and causing havoc for my hormones, etc. So it was very interesting. And the way he does his detoxes is so deep. There's no survival. Like, it's so good. And Dr. Jay Gandhi actually referred me to
This
him.
is a lot of dentists refer people to him because when they're in your mouth, they'll pulling out parasites. They're like, you need a parasite cleanse because they hide inside your gums. And that's a telltale sign it's deep.
Wow.
Some of those stool tests don't actually show.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
They don't show at all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've had 3 stool tests and I'm comparing it. And then this guy's test, like maybe 2 of them kind of match, but those 2 don't. So like even with testing, you have to be careful. You have to know what tests are you actually taking and who's interpreting them for you.
True. I think everyone should just assume that they have them, right? Because
we
Yeah,
do.
you
in
have
society,
You're
we're
eating
not taught.
salads at restaurants, you have parasites for sure.
Sushi,
I mean, yeah,
tap
forget
water,
it.
all
Yes,
of those things.
yes.
Mhm. I had Kim
Everyone.
Rogers on my podcast, and she created the Parify Parasite Cleanse.
Mm.
So I'm doing that right now, and I've done the cell core, and I
Nice.
cannot believe how many parasites I had. And I'm really tiny, and I eat very healthy.
How did you know that they came out? Like you felt better? Like how was your feeling?
I saw them. I saw
No.
so many come out. So many ropeworms. It was in liver flukes. It was really gross.
No.
Wow.
Mhm.
And so what has changed in your day-to-day?
I definitely feel like I have a lot more energy. I felt like my brain fog went away. I paired it with fasting. So I did a 5-day fast, and then I drank a lot of water and did a lot of juices. And then I went on the parasite cleanse.
Amazing.
So now I try to do it probably every 4 months at this point.
Yeah.
Because I just
And that's what
feel
people have to
better.
do. That's why I tell everyone it's not one and done. This has to become a routine.
lifestyle.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least once a year with kids too. Kids these days, they touch
Mhm.
everything. There's,
Yes.
can't escape them.
What are some things that anyone listening to this can do when they wake up in the morning to help biohack?
I have this word that I like to call swappertunity.
I love these words.
When there's an opportunity for you to swap something out of your life, you're going to drink water. Well, why not think about the approach and what kind of water? Is it hydrogen water? Is it structured water? Is it getting water filtered? So first address what you can swap out. And depending on your budget, you can tackle it that way, right? If you have a large budget, you have a whole house filtration, you're showering in the best, water. If you don't, then you can go down. And that's what we do really good with our magazine and our whole media is do what we call peer review. So in the medical community, it's doctors reviewing other doctors. They're not our peers. Like right now, we're the people using the stuff, right? We're reviewing your parasite cleanse. You're interested. That's a real peer review group. So we have our own peer coupled with also the functional medicine doctors. So we review all the products and there's a price to fit every budget. And we try it out ourselves. Our community tries it and we recommend it and we support it. So that's one. Obviously, let's look at your lifestyle, right? If you're working a 9 to 5, by the time you come out, it's dark. You're not getting enough sun. So you either need to go and get some real sun and make a conscious effort, or, you have red light therapy, right? And you have grounding if you're in shoes all day. So there's those things. But again, testing and not guessing, right? TereZa has a more, real detailed approach where why do you want sun? Like, what is your vitamin D levels? Are you deficient?
Mhm.
So
It
I
is
have
still
the man
important
way
for us to
about it. Like,
get-
a man that just, throws water on a towel and washes his face. And she has a more feminine, more detailed approach
Well,
to.
still having the sunlight in the morning, it's not for vitamin D, it's more like circadian rhythm resetting, right? So that's still number one, I would say. For me, I've been obsessed with ozone oil and swishing. So since now we're obsessed with dental hygiene on another level, that's what we do. Like we actually put our appliances because we're restructuring our whole airway. We went to Dr. Bahar, and she's the queen of airways. We actually did an amazing clinic overview because we want our audience to really be in there with us, be in the rooms there, and really see what testing is she doing, what is the conclusion, and how do we tackle it? Phase 1, phase 2, then what's the before and after, right? So like A to Z. So since we did that, I've been totally obsessed with like wearing the appliances, doing no oral hygiene in the morning, in the evening. Me and the kids have so much fun. And then we
So
also
what
did.
is it that exactly do you do?
So it's an ozone oil, and you
Okay.
swish it in your mouth.
Okay.
So it
Kind of
kills.
like coconut oil, similar.
Exactly, like
Okay.
coconut oil pulling, but I do it with the ozone oil. And it's got the coconut oil base. So I bought that from Dr. Sanda Moldovan's office. And I think she sells them online too. Sanda Moldovan is amazing. She's out of Beverly Hills. We were just at her clinic too, doing another clinic overview. And what she did is something interesting. She tested out our oral microbiome. And then she said something that changed our perspective about ourselves. He had the cancer microbes living in his gums, and I had a heart attack microbe. Yeah. So, those people that just drop dead and you're like, what? She was so healthy. That would have been me if I didn't do this cleanse. So then we went to Beverly Hills at Dr. Sanda Moldovan. She used the EMS airflow machine. It's got all the bells and whistles. I can't explain by detail, but there's a ton of ozone that goes into it, and it detailed cleanses everything, your internal mouth, like everything, your tongue, scraping, and then it's like a cleaning, but in a whole different way. So she cleansed and reset our oral microbiome. So now we don't have the heart attack and cancer microbes because
amazing.
God forbid you have a little inflammation on your gums and they start bleeding. These microbes can find their way straight into your bloodstreams. And that would be not a good
Yes.
outcome. So that was something interesting we discovered. And so that's like my thing, like oral hygiene should be the Bible truth for everyone, morning, evening. And I was never a brushing type. Growing up, actually, my mom said, old ages, nobody brush. This is like not even a thing. Just don't eat sugar, like eat healthy. And I didn't really brush well. Like I would just do it with my fingers sometimes, dry brushing, Actually, Dr. Dawn Ewing, she says you should only dry brush. But right now, our food and what we put in our mouths and what we're exposed to, I personally don't agree that dry brushing is enough. So we do that with the kids. We do the hydrogen therapy with Hue Light. I love that. It's like intranasal. You put it there, and as I work or do things or we're watching something, we'll just each take an hour and do hydrogen therapy. That's very fun. PEMF,
really
Matt.
cool.
We do PEMF.
I do red light on my head, on my hair. We're good friends with Dr. Alan Bauman. He owns
We did a whole
Bauman
procedure
Medical.
with
Yeah. And he's incredible. He's got this helmet that you wear. And,
like going straight
I've
to the
seen
roots.
that before. We
Mhm.
interviewed, I forget his name. It was probably a year and a half ago, but he was at this biohacking expo that I went to, and it was basically a helmet of red.
That's probably
light
Dr.
therapy.
Alan Bauman. Yeah. He's a
Okay.
Bauman Medical. He's a contributor in our
Okay.
magazine. I was just with him 2 nights ago at a veterans charity event. It's called the Gray Team, where if you're a soldier or a retired veteran and you want care, they'll biohack you, to avoid
That's
PTSD.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
he's talking about that. We're actually launching, and right now we're in early stages of casting of our next documentary called The New Woo. And
Yes, I know all about the new.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
what do
Great.
you know?
What's his name?
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yes,
Yes, I'm going to be
yeah.
interviewing him on my podcast.
Very
and I'm
nice.
connecting him with
Yeah.
Trent Shelton and a few other
Okay.
people.
Very
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
We're excited.
recognize that through all of our healing journeys, we went from bottom up, and after tackling after tackling dental and airways, we realized there's another way of healing, which is all the quantum, the energy healing. So we have now secured some of the biggest names like Robert Edward Grant and
List, it's pretty
Sadhguru.
incredible.
Yeah, incredible people coming in to really talk about, and we're not just talking about quantum. We're not just talking about psychedelics. We're not, we're bringing in all of the modalities of how do you energetically heal yourself. Super excited to find out about that. And as we learn, the audience learns. Like we actually intentionally don't study our cast members because we want to genuinely ask the simplest questions that it's easier for our audience to understand.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who else you cast for that.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, I like to do a quick rapid fire question, and then we're going to do a this or that challenge. So whatever comes to your mind first. What's one non-negotiable for a daily habit for each of you?
Water intake, good water intake.
Kiss all my family members and say I love you.
I love that. Best piece of advice you ever received?
Use food as medicine, or you'll be using medicine as food.
So good. So,
Oh,
so good.
how do you beat that?
No.
What's best advice? That your children's souls chose you for a reason.
Okay. So a belief you had that completely changed your life.
A belief that you can be anything you want to be. Really.
I think belief that your future self can handle anything that comes across your way.
Love that one. Both of them are so good. What does lighting up your life mean to you?
Oh, waking up with my kids every day. My family, yeah, like
Beautiful.
just opening your eyes and they're just like all over you. That's lighting up.
Yeah, I would have to agree with her.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
built that. All right. So for the this or that challenge, whatever comes to mind first. So cold plunge or sauna,
Sauna.
Sauna.
red light therapy or cryotherapy,
Like,
supplements or whole foods.
I like
Food supplements.
supplements.
I love both. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a supplement guy, but yeah.
It's a toss up for you, TereZa. And then do you like to work out in the morning or evening?
Morning, evening.
Yeah.
Oh,
evening,
wow.
yeah.
Or
Mhm.
he'll tolerate my morning workout times.
Well, is there anything else you want to share with our audience that maybe something exciting that you're working on?
Well,
So
we
much.
talked about the Shield premiere happening in Cannes. We're excited about that. We have multiple events that we're curating with our community. We've now built some of the most robust and respected practitioners in our community. So when we do events, we always invite our contributors, our documentary stars, our magazine cover stars. So, look out for those things. We make a lot of private announcements in our newsletters and things like that. We have the biodentistry documentary that's in the oven. It's getting ready to be completely edited and rolling out. We're making announcements about the premiere of that and the venue and all the things surrounding that celebratory moment like we're doing with Shield. We're going to be announcing HNN, Health News Network. We're building the largest news network that's expert owned. So we're now taking all of the people and all of our relationships and we're putting the power of the media in their hands. So they're going to own their own channels. They're going to be unshadow bannable. And this information will be never kept from you again because, in this administration is very friendly. It's very open. It's more health conscious, but you just never know where the wind blows or what kind of war or doesn't happen or political war, if you will. So a lot of these people, we've recognized that were persecuted and shadow banned. Had we not really dug deep, it was like trying to find a parasite to find an expert. We had to really dig deep to find these people. And that's us with access. And so never again. The time to fix your roof is when the sun is shining. So we are building Health News Network, HNN. We're making big announcements about that and all the people that we're spotlighting in that. And then, of course, The New Woo is an incredible documentary. And our children are now actively on podcasts. They have a few announcements. They're launching their own things. So things like that. Yeah.
I mean, everybody should follow Biohack Yourself Media on Instagram.
Yes.
We're going to make some announcements about the Shield watch parties, and we're going to allow some vetted functional medicine practitioners or doctors or people in the community to do watch parties in order to build communities. So that's an opportunity we're going to start offering. So if they're excited about that, they can DM and our team will relay the message. That's something interesting. I think all the women are feeling so excited about that one.
Yes, me
Yeah.
too. I was talking to my friend about it yesterday because I told her I
Yeah.
was interviewing you guys. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
on the
Thank you.
show. I will link everything in the
Awesome.
show notes and just continue to light up your life because you guys are making really big things happen and you're helping so many people, millions and millions of people around the world. So
Thank you.
Sending everyone so much love and light. And again, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.